All right, guys, welcome to your first American History 2 lecture notes. This is Unit 1, Lecture 1. Today we'll focus on populism and how that unites farmers together. All right, we'll start with problems that farmers face. All right, late 1800s, especially during and after the Civil War, Western farmers are in trouble. For one, you have rising debt. You have falling crop prices. That means the prices of crops drop. You have the overcharging of services by railroads, and you have weather problems. A big thing is the overgrowth of cotton, which leads to falling prices. And while other things like fertilizers and tools and food, their prices go up. And also, the more cotton you grow, the cheaper it's going to be. So essentially, the more cotton you grow, the less you make. All right. Now, farmers are going to seek financial relief. It means money help. Okay. They had borrowed money from banks. All right. When greenbacks were in circulation, the greenbacks are basically just like a short summary of is money that the government gives you that you have to pay back. It's money backed by the government, but they're being forced to repay these loans in money that's backed by gold, which is money that they don't have. Okay, so they're having to pay back with things that they haven't obtained in a long time. Now, eventually people are going to be tired of their conditions and they're going to organize. In 1867, farmers create an organization known as Patrons of Husbandry, also known as the Grange. Right? So we're going to refer to it as the Grange from now on because that's easier to say than Patrons of Husbandry. Right? It starts as a social organization, a group where we get together and we bash about all our problems and what's wrong with America and how do we fix it, and eventually becomes a political group. Right? They begin discussing farmers' perceived abuses by Eastern railroads and the banks. So basically, the railroads are taking advantage of us, and these banks are taking advantage of us, and we need to get rid of them or fix them. And here you can see in this lovely political cartoon here, the Grange, which is this lovely young man here, is warning these farmers that they're about to be run over by railroads and Eastern banks, which is basically they are the tracks. These railroads are coming, and it's going to take them out. Okay. Now, populism, the populist movement. Populism is a political movement that grew out of the Granger organization. Their main goals, they were going to protest railroad abuses, such as unfair pricing and rebates for big businesses. Their Omaha platform, these are the things that they want to get done. Their 5 main goals. Number 1 is increase the money supply, more money on hand. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple slides. Number 2, they want a graduated income tax, or a tax based off of the money that you make. Number 3, they want a secret ballot, where no one knows who you vote for. They want federal loans for farmers, and they want an 8-hour work day. Now, the economic crisis, or also called the Panic of 1893. All right, you have an economic panic, economic crisis, obviously just said that, where railroad overexpansion, weak banking system, tight credit system, falling crop prices, all of that leads to almost a depression. And you also have one in England as well, which hurts us even worse because if England is broke, they can't afford to buy our goods. And they also start selling American assets, so we lose a lot of money off of that as well. You have 20% unemployment, and today it's around 4%, and people are complaining about how there's no jobs. So imagine if it was 20%. Farmers and others, not just farmers, will suffer. Democrats and Republicans are going to battle over how to fix the issues because, just like normal, they can never, ever agree on anything. So the election of 1896 pops up, and the key issue is currency, money. All right, Republicans, they support northern business and industry and favor the gold standard, or money that is backed by gold. Okay, as money is $5 means just $5 is worth that much in gold. Now, Democrats and populists, where populists is a third party, their support they support Southern and Western farmers, and they favor bimetallism. Bi means two, unicycle, one wheel. Bicycle, two wheels. Okay. They favor bimetallism, meaning silver and gold-backed currency, which is also known as free silver. Okay, free silver. The cross of gold. Nebraska politician William Jennings Bryan gives a famous cross of gold speech in which he advocates money backed by both silver and gold. So you can assume he's a Democrat or a populist. His speech is so well given and he becomes so popular that the Democrats nominate him to run for president. So he was a populist. The Democrats nominate him. And in 1896, you have Democrat/populist William Jennings Bryan versus Republican candidate William McKinley. All right, McKinley was going to win the election. He was a more popular candidate. He had way more money, bigger backers. He could get his name out there more often. Whereas William Jennings Bryan did not have as many backers. He was actually one of the first candidates that goes state to state and speaks for long periods of time because the biggest advantage he had is how well he spoke to people. Because he does not win, the populist movement will die, but it will leave lasting legacies. Legacies are things that you leave behind. It demonstrates that downtrodden can organize politically and make a difference. People that are oppressed, people that are being treated badly, treated unfairly, they can always organize and make change. All right. That's also related to movements that you have nowadays. We'll talk about those more in class. And it created ideas for reform and change that will actually be carried out in the 20th century. So it had a lasting impact. Right? And that is the end for your notes today. Make sure you study this up and watch for lecture 2 tomorrow.